Okay, Angie, we are live.
Okay.
And okay, here we go.
Okay.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm very excited to be here this evening. And for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm just going to briefly introduce myself and share a little bit about my story. And then we are absolutely positively here because I want Angie to share her story this evening. She's been truly inspirational and me having the opportunity to walk alongside her journey. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Maria Alshaus. I am a transformational healthy lifestyle coach, and I've been coaching for a little over 8 years. And it all started, my story began about 11 years ago. I was high risk of heart disease, pre-diabetic, barely surviving. And I had a moment. I was with my son at Kennywood and went to get on the racer with him. Kennywood is an amusement park here in Pittsburgh, for those of you that may not be from Pittsburgh, but I almost didn't fit. And that was really my moment of truth to kind of really settle back and really think about where I was in my life. And so fast forward to today, I've released 130 pounds, and now it's my passion and purpose to help others create optimal health and well-being in their lives. And that is why Angie is here today, and I'm very excited to have her. So Angie, I'm just gonna kind of let you take the floor now. And why don't we just start with, why don't you just share a little bit about, in a few minutes, share a little bit about you and your journey and where you are right now.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. I was honored that you asked for me to join you tonight. So I am a mom of three, and so everything that I do revolves around my kids and my family. And so I found that because of that, my own health took a back seat. And when I've been trying to lose weight. I was always the one in high school who said, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. Now, if I could be what I look like in high school, that would be good. But I tried all different diet plans. And the biggest thing was that I started them, but I just never could stick with it. And the worst part was that it wasn't that I wasn't losing the weight. It was that I felt so bad about myself when I did that. My anxiety and just feeling bad that I failed at the program was what kind of hurt the most. But when COVID hit last year and we were home and I had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to look at the effects of not being healthy, is when I thought, I really need to do something because my kids are getting older. I need to be here for them and I need to be healthy for me. So a friend of mine was telling me about you, Maria, and that's when I started my journey after we talked. So that's kind of how I got started and where I was.
Okay. So when you made that decision, like what made you ultimately really know that you were ready?
For some reason, I think that my mindset this time is so different in that I just take it day by day. And I think in the past, what I've always done is I want to lose X amount of weight by this day. And while it's okay to have goals, and I think that's important, I need to this time say, this is what I'm doing today. And I think for some reason, I don't know if it was because of COVID and all the health things that were going through our minds at the time. I don't know if that was it, or if it was just that I was really ready to do this. I think that's what's kept me going, and that's what really got me started.
So I'm curious, what was the hardest part of losing weight in the past, or what were some of your biggest challenges in the past that kept you from really, ultimately crossing that abyss, so to speak?
I think the biggest thing was just sticking with it. Like I said, I was able to start, But like I would go to Weight Watchers on a Thursday night, go to the meeting, and then stop at Wendy's on my way home because I had just weighed in. So, it didn't matter what I weighed that night. And I think so. I think it was just sticking with it. I knew, and I think we talked about this the first time that we talked. I knew what I needed to do. I mean, I think everybody knows what they need to do. You need to eat healthy and you need to exercise, and make, good choices when it comes to your health. But it was just that I couldn't do that. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Eventually I could. That might be a topic for therapy one day. But I just think that that was my biggest challenge. And then, like I said, when I would feel so bad about myself. So it almost got to the point where I didn't want to start something because I didn't want to have that feeling of failure. That was the difficult part about starting this too, was that I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I could do it, but I was so afraid that I was going to fail and let myself down. But that's when I started to think, no, like just today, you're doing this. And then the next day it was just today, you're doing this. And that's really what has kept me going.
And, when you and I have quite a bit of commonality, right? In terms of where we've been and where we are now, and being in that vicious cycle of starting and stopping and starting and stopping and I'll do it Monday, and
Yeah.
not seeing the results, and then using exercise as punishment because, oh, I'll go burn this off because I ate this, it turns into a very vicious cycle. Because everybody has this mindset that exercise is the end all be all, and it's not the solution, because it all has to start, once you make that decision, this has to get fixed, and we have to really start addressing what is eating at us, because until we get to the heart of that, nothing's changed. We're going to stay in that vicious loop because nothing's changed, and that leads me to my next question is, how is this time so different?
This time is different because, like you said, I've been focusing on a lot of the mental and emotional aspect of it as well. I did not realize that that would be such a big part of it. I thought it would be this physical, difference, and it has been, but through the life book and through, talking with you, I feel like I realize my emotions. There are times when, like I had told you, it was my twins' birthday. They were turning 13. I was like sad that they were turning 13 just because they're getting older. And I was mad because I went to pick up a cookie cake for them, and I was mad that I couldn't eat it. And on my way home from the grocery store, I thought, I can eat it. No one is stopping me from eating it. But that's not why I'm upset. I'm upset because they're getting older, and that's sad to me. And so I kind of have turned how I think about things too, in that looking at, eating is fulfilled an emotional need, I guess, and I just would turn to that because it's easy, it's there.
Yeah,
Also, go ahead.
It goes back to that self-talk, that negative self-talk, and we're so used to saying I can't have, or it's bad food or good food, and when we look at good food, bad food, we tend to it turns into like this dilemma, like this fight, this negative I guess feeling. And there's certain foods that tend to enhance our health, right? And then there's certain foods that are going to be destructive to our health.
Right.
But it all goes back to choices, like you said. And now that you've shifted your mindset of, it's not that I can't have this, I choose not to have this because of based on what I want and how I'm feeling, and how's it going to serve me in this moment. And you've learned, really what you've learned is you've learned about emotional management, because I got where I got from emotional mismanagement,
Yeah.
using that food
Yeah.
as instant gratification, but
Mhm.
nothing changes.
Right. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? If I ate a piece of cookie cake, going to feel bad that I ate it. And I'm going to still be sad that my kids are 13 because that's not going to change that. So it
Exactly.
doesn't, and then I'm not going to feel good the next day. Um, so that's kind of how my mindset has changed.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
like I said, I try to go day by day. And we've talked before about, what's going to happen in the future. And I don't like to think of that because that brings me anxiety. Like, what if I can't do it? So I try to just, and
mm-hmm.
the one quote in the life book was, today is the only day that I can control. And that's one thing that I keep trying to remind myself. And it's actually a good mantra for other things in life too.
Mm-hmm. It is. And what you just said there is very powerful
Hmm.
because we have to stay present. We can't change yesterday, right?
Right.
What happened yesterday happened yesterday. We can't control the future because we don't know what's going to happen yet, you
Right.
know? So staying present in the moment. And I remember that specific day when you said that to me,
Hmm.
you know, that you're like, Maria, this is Angie's, this is what Angie had, this is how she thinks. And I'm like, that's awesome. You know, if that's your tool to, accomplish what your desired outcome is, then that's what you do, and that's what's so awesome because everybody's on their own journey,
Hmm.
and everybody does their journey differently, you know,
Yeah.
and the only thing we can control is today.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome that that constantly resonates with you and because it's so, so true for sure. Um, So tell us what I really want you to share is that I'm excited about is tell us how far you've come now and what changed for you. What changed for you?
Well, physically, I've lost 82 pounds so far. I am, buying clothes in regular stores, and I'm able to buy things online, and that's really nice. Non-scale wise, my cholesterol went down. All of my levels have been normal. Um,
Mhm,
so that's really great.
mhm,
I've kind of learned non-scale also that my actions have an effect on other people. Like my husband has been watching his calories, my kids um at the beginning were kind of questioning, like, what are you eating and why are you eating what, and now they just kind of go with it and they know what's healthy and what's not. So that's definitely meaningful to me.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you're instilling healthier habits, on your family, and it's kind of having a domino effect.
Yeah. I feel like I have more energy. Um, I work at a school with young kids, and I feel like I'm not as tired at the end of the day as I was.
Mhm,
Um, I sleep really well. So those are all definitely positives.
mhm, mhm. And do you how do you look at, I don't like to call it exercise. I like to call it activity. Does it have a different meaning to you now in terms
It
of,
does. It does. I don't feel like I have to go hard. I don't feel like I have to, like you said, burn every calorie that I've eaten, in the day. And that's one thing that's part of my goals is to have more activity. Um, so that's one thing that I'm working toward. But, just to go to yoga, to go for a walk, those are things that I look forward to and enjoy, rather than it being a chore or like I can't even walk a half an hour because my ankles hurt so bad. Um, so yeah, I do look at it differently.
good, good. And overall, in terms of having the support in the community, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think one of the best things is to have the support of you as my coach, because I feel like you said, you've been there, you get it. And I don't feel like I'm going to let you down. I feel like you're very accepting of mistakes, which is good because we all make mistakes. The Facebook page has been great, even just looking at other people's experiences. I don't, post as much.
Okay.
But like there's one of your clients that's going to Disney this week. I'm going to Disney in June. So I reached out to her like, hey, let me know how it goes and what you decide to eat, for your meals. And so that I feel comfortable doing that too. And I think it's nice too to be able to reach out to someone. I know there are other programs that, have meetings and have people that touch base with you, but like I feel like comfortable that I could text you and say, Maria, I don't know what to do in this situation, or could you help me out with this? So that's been really helpful too.
Good, good. So how excited are you for Disney?
I am super excited. Like we had to cancel last year for COVID, so that's making me excited that we're getting to go. But I am like so excited that I don't have to worry like if I'm going to be comfortable on the airplane, if I am going to be in, on a ride and like not be able to get on the ride. I just feel like I'm just going to be able to go and enjoy it and not have to think about that kind of stuff and not be super tired by the end of the day or not have my feet hurt or my legs hurt. Last time we went was a few years ago, but like I would go to bed, I feel like my legs were still moving. It was just like so much pressure.
Yeah.
And so, and now I'm not worried about that. I'm just excited about spending time with my family and having a good time.
Yeah. It gives you such a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? A sense of freedom, really, in a lot of ways, that you have
Yeah.
this health and vibrancy now that you're able to truly go and enjoy, and not have to worry about all that stuff because that's another thing that you and I have in common. That was my moment,
Yeah.
that day with my son, with getting on the racer,
Yeah.
it was a pretty hard day. It was a reality. And I'm glad, I'm grateful that for that moment,
Mhm.
for sure. So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions.
Okay.
What are three things that you may have really already answered some of this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What are three big things you've learned as you continue on this journey, this lifelong journey, really?
I think superficially, it's really awesome to be able to go into a store and buy clothes that I want. My daughter and I went on a shopping trip yesterday at Old Navy, and I bought clothes, and it was so nice.
Oh,
But beyond that, like it's okay to make mistakes when it comes to yourself. Um, and third, I think the big thing is just that today is the day that we have to focus on. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've had from all of it.
good, good. What would you recommend to those who have weight loss and health goals? What would be some inspiring words from you to them? Because now, you're truly, you've been inspiring to work with.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
and I'm grateful. I truly mean this. I'm so grateful to have been invited to walk alongside you on this journey, because it's been inspiring to me, how determined and how focused and your desire to want to really take charge of your health. It's been really inspiring for me. So
Oh, thanks. I would just say that I know it's so difficult, but you have to just get started and you just have to do it. Um, and I was thinking the other day, like if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I know that's such a cliche, but like I said, I've been like struggling with this mentally or physically since I was in high school. And
mhm.
I'm doing it. And I think that's one of the biggest things I would say. And for people to, like, you're not alone, even if you have this support of a coach or of a Facebook community or whatever, but there are so many people who struggle with it, whether people have to lose 100 pounds or 20 pounds. You're not alone, and it's your own journey. I've had
Mhm.
some struggle with comments that people have made, all well-meaning, I think, but it was just very difficult for me to understand that people were actually looking at me and how I looked. And so I had to kind of get into the mindset that this is my journey, and you can have your opinions, but this is what I'm going through. So I think that
Mhm.
that's something that people, have to come to grips with too.
Mhm. I think you said something really powerful there. I don't know where that echo is coming. But I think you said something really powerful there in terms of this is my health journey. Because I have a lot of clients that struggle with, well, people are asking me, blah, 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 and I say to them, well, let's just take a step back and I want you to think about something. Why is your health journey anyone else's business?
Mm-hmm.
This is your journey, and there's no need to get into a rolling explanation of why you're doing what you're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm always a big advocate of answer a question with a question.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Why do you ask? Put it back on them.
Mm-hmm.
We tend as humans to go down the rabbit hole like we have to explain ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taken me a while to get over that hump too when I was, doing my journey,
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I just want to congratulate you.
Thank
I
you.
am so excited for you, and I'm so looking forward to continuing your lifelong transformation with you because I never go away. I'll always be here for you, even when you cross that abyss, so to speak. Because I love what I do, and I always want my tribe, as I call it. I want them to know that I'm here for them. So, do you have any last words that you wanna share before
I
we go?
don't think, I thank you so much, and you've helped me so much. I'm so thankful for my friend who suggested I talk to
Yeah,
you. Um,
yeah.
she's be my friend forever. And so, yeah,
I text her the other day. She shall remain
yeah.
nameless, right? Text her the other day, and I said, I just want you to know that you touched somebody's life in a bigger way than you ever thought possible. And
Aw,
listening right now, I want her to hear this because she started the process, right?
mhm.
She
Right.
had a huge impact on your journey. So we both want to thank her
Yes, for sure.
for that.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, lady. Well, I will talk to you in our weekly call
Okay.
next week. And thank you again for your time and have a blessed Easter.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.